Papa has just such a poise about her in these moments. The runner, you bet! Tahina Pow delivering down the stretch for South Carolina.
Read that beautifully. She did not have the space to take the three, but certainly did take the mid-range.
Healy into the lane, gets fouled, and Alyssa Peely is going to shoot two.
Just watch Pow savvy. She comes off, doesn't quite have the space for the three, but the drop coverage, okay, gets right in and hits the floater. She has made some really nice decisions, in particular here in the fourth quarter.
So interesting hearing from South Carolina players even before the first game of the season in Paris, talking with them about the need for a leader with the graduating class of last year and wondering who it would be, and how Pow instantly became that, so they didn't have to wonder long. And you could just see it in the way she operates late in games. Meanwhile, Peely trying to do everything she can for Utah, up to 36 points. And now 37. A career high for Peely, a season high for Pow. 5-point South Carolina lead. And a turnover from Johnson. And Vieira gets fouled by Pow. 14th foul in this fourth quarter against South Carolina. Here's Vieira. Off to Peely. Peely pedals, kicks. The three, no good from Johnson. Secured by Cardoso. 1 minute to play. Pow, dangerous behind the back dribble, but draws the foul. Just the third foul on Utah. So side out of bounds here for South Carolina. No surprise, but the 37, Peely has scored the most points scored against South Carolina this season. Johnson letting some clock wind. Shot clock at 7, and Johnson traveled. Dawn Stanley knew it. As a point guard herself, looking at it, she saw Johnson take that step and just dropped her head. So South Carolina turns it over for a 23rd time. And the door is open for Utah with 40 seconds to go in the fourth. Utah basketball down 5, but Tahina Pow's had a really big second half.
Now, this is a player who comes in with a lot of veteran experience and just stepping in, taking the right shots, making the shots that she's taking, and whether it's been from three or the pull-up off ball screens or in the open floor, she has just made the right moves, made the right shots. And it's interesting because when we talked to her before their season opener in Paris, I asked her, did you watch the semifinal loss last year, South Carolina to Iowa? And she said, yes. I said, and what were you thinking? She said, I was thinking they could really use some three-point shooting, and I can certainly bring that to them. And she has all season, including today.
11th in the nation, over 50% from three. She has 10 points in the second half. Meanwhile, Utah basketball down just 5 with 40 seconds to go.
You will look for them to see if they can get some dribble penetration, but you know they're only going to take it if it's a layup or kick it out for if it's a three.
Vieira will inbound. Wilkie, Johnson, Peely, and McQueen, the others on the floor for Utah here. Vieira bounces in. Wilkie gets it to Peely. Peely, good position. Gets called for the travel. Cardoso able to recover enough, as was Watkins, and Utah turns it over for a 17th time themselves. South Carolina basketball with 34 seconds to go.
Utah ran a set to get the ball into Peely, have her go to work. Cardoso's right there. Watkins comes in from the opposite side.
You see the timeouts remaining. Utah in the bonus. They have one foul to give. They're probably going to try and give it quickly, go for a steal, and then they're going to want to put South Carolina at the line. And what's on the line in this game? Well, Utah seeking its first win against an AP #1 opponent ever. Meanwhile, South Carolina has won 42 straight games as an AP #1 against teams outside the top 10. I think what's been so impressive about South Carolina to begin this season, Rebecca, is how quickly they have developed a synergy, playing a completely different style with a different group than the long-tenured team that we saw last season.
Completely different style, more fast-paced, better three-point shooters, better assisters.
Foul here, and Utah had one to give. Johnson picks up her 4th. Peely, they pulled out. Now they will, or will they pull her in? No, they're going to wait because they're going to have to foul one more time. Peely has 3 personals. Picked them all up in the first half. That's who you want to foul. And Johnson does. She hesitated for a moment knowing it would be her 5th. But Cardoso will go to the line, 64% on the season.
And I understand how important clock is, but I still wish players would at least attempt to get the tie up first. Especially when you have the possession arrow.
Yeah. So Johnson out. And Janet Johnson did a lot of winning things in this game. Most notably all the offensive fouls that she drew.
She's going to need an ice bath. She battled for much of the game with Camila Cardoso. Tell you what, one thing we've seen over the years with South Carolina, not only are they great offensive rebounders, they're great offensive rebounders on the free throw line. Utah's got to make sure to box out here.
We've seen that already today. Got a put back from Sakima Walker at the end of the first half. Here's Cardoso, 3 of 3 today, and now 4 of 4. So Cardoso has hit her free throws. Utah just one timeout remaining. Cardoso hits them both. And Utah is going to take its final timeout. 76-69. South Carolina in front with 31 seconds remaining in this 4th. A reminder that coming up next, it's the WNBA Draft Lottery. Seattle, Phoenix, Indiana, LA, all vying for that #1 pick.
Well, here's a situation where I certainly expect Utah to look for a 3 if they can get a clean look relatively quickly. Out of timeout, so they can no longer advance the basketball.
We know all day long, Utah is not taking a single mid-range shot.
Not a single one.
Not one.
And look at that shot chart.
And there's a little area just outside the paint that Coach Roberts is cool with. And then you get beyond that, and what she determines is a long 2, and that is where it's no longer cool, and you will get the air horn.
Only okay with long 2s if it's end of shot clock.
Right. See what they draw up here.
All 5 on the floor, capable 3-point shooters.
Into Vieta, down 7. Vieta on the drive, flips it, catch, fire, no. On the 3 from McQueen, Hall dashing ahead, lays it in, and that should do it for South Carolina. A 9-point lead. Peely can't hit the 3. Long rebound, Young. Back to Peely. Peely gives it up. McQueen blocked. And South Carolina survives a tough test from Utah. 78-69 the final as the Gamecocks remain undefeated. And you could see Dawn Staley in the handshake line saying, keep going. I certainly have to believe South Carolina, who already came in with high thoughts about Utah, certainly respects them even more after this contest.
This was a tough test for South Carolina, and one they certainly passed. They used their depth. They used their toughness, in particular in that third quarter where they got all over the offensive glass. They did enough, but Utah certainly did not make it easy for them. This is a Utah team down 2 starters because of injury. Really fun team to watch.